Good Friday morning. This is the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for this Friday, March 16th. Precipitation over the past week, finally some wetness, not just in our northern areas that have been seeing fairly wet conditions all winter and spring, but also into the southern areas, down towards Vegas, down towards the Arizona Strip and southern Utah, southeast Utah still, though, on the dry side. However, as wet as this map on the left looks, when we compare it to what we normally get in the week this time of year, you can still see a lot of patches of yellow to orange to red, which indicates anywhere from 75% to only 10% of normal. So still got a ways to go, but these are encouraging numbers down south in Vegas and in the Arizona Strip. We'll see how that plays out for the next couple of weeks. Snowfall, new snowfall on the left, significant snowfall in the mountains across the Sierra, spilling over into western Nevada, the Rubies, and some of the higher terrain up in central and eastern Nevada, getting good snows up and down the Wasatch Chain into the mountains of southern Utah, and again continuing up in the mountains of central Idaho and western Wyoming as well. Snow depth, snowpack over several feet up in our northern mountains in Idaho and Wyoming, starting to pick up across the Uintas and the Wasatch. Picking up across the Sierra as well, finally, and even up here in the Rubies, getting a snowpack of maybe 2 to 3 feet, maybe some locally higher amounts. So things are finally improving after a very dry winter, still below normal, but hopefully the trend will continue. Satellite imagery shows the culprit for the recent storm being that, or the recent snow being the storm that's just off the Eureka, northwest California coast, pumping in tons of moisture, a deep storm system with all the height lines through here. So being in the vicinity of low pressure means that there's good instability, good vertical mixing, also decent winds coming up with this storm. So we expect dispersion conditions in this kind of a pattern to remain very good for the next couple of days. So look at the weather map for this afternoon. Shows the low pressure still over far northern California, spilling its moisture into Nevada and starting to push into parts of Utah by late this afternoon and evening as the precipitation heads eastwards. You can see that overall dispersion, most areas in the white, excellent dispersion. You can see why here on the left, good transport winds coming out of the south, 20 to 40 miles an hour in a lot of these highlighted areas. Vertical mixing also several thousand feet above ground level. As we go into Saturday, the storm starts weakening or becoming less defined, but a lot of moisture was drawn into it, so this will pump into southern Nevada, Arizona Strip, a good chunk of Utah, maybe finally getting into eastern Utah as well, and still some lingering moisture up here in the north. Excellent ventilation with the white colors through there. Good transport flow out of the southwest, good mixing heights. And then on Sunday, we'll see a break in the pattern as this storm system moves out into the plain states. We'll be watching another storm system out in the Pacific approaching. We'll be in between systems, but not really seeing any high pressure. So most areas still staying really good in the white in the dispersion areas. A few areas shading into the red, but overall definitely better than average dispersion. The transport winds die out across central Nevada. That's the one thing. So there won't be as much wind. It might be a good burning opportunity. Winds will be slackening off, but also vertical mixing, best in eastern areas closer to that low, starting to stagnate a little bit here across northern Nevada. And the Utah Clearing Index Friday, Saturday shows overall very high scores, the highest that you can basically get, and not too shabby on Sunday as well, although northern areas start dropping off a little bit, but basically staying above about 500 on the value scale. Now, in terms of the 3-day precipitation that we're expecting from later Friday through Monday night, you can see through here the accumulations just about all areas except for far southwest Nevada. The darkest green is about 1/4 inch. The blue shades are anywhere from a 1/2 inch to an inch. The heaviest amounts again across the mountains of central Idaho. Going further down the road on Monday, high pressure starts building on in. We start seeing just a little bit more stagnation through here. The winds will be slackening off, but there is that deep storm system off the coast which slowly continues to move towards us, bringing clouds into the western Great Basin on Tuesday, maybe some precipitation late in the day. Dry with high pressure in eastern areas. Ventilation, no real large-scale concerns. And then on Wednesday, that storm system not only moves on shore, but pushes a lot of its moisture into the Great Basin. So another round of moderate to locally heavy precipitation, especially, well, I was going to say across central and northern areas, but just about all areas except for southeast Utah. We'll be getting into it on Wednesday. Thursday, most of that moisture washes out to the east. Another storm system drops down into the Pacific Northwest. Our ventilation stays excellent through the period. Now on days 4 through 5, Monday through Wednesday, we stay dry here in the Great Basin. This leading edge of precipitation is what should move in here from Thursday onwards. Now the 8 to 14 day outlook shows that we stay cooler than normal and wetter than normal, with a wet signal across southeast Utah and northern Arizona, which is great news if it comes to fruition. So we're looking for the cooler, wetter conditions to continue as we go into the latter part of March. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day. Our next smoke briefing will be this coming Monday.